I say, is the mic on? Episode 127. We did it. Here's an interesting fact. Did you know a buttload is an actual unit of measurement? One buttload is equivalent to 126 gallons of wine or 108 gallons of ale. Now, I don't know why ale gallons are different than wine gallons. That's the bigger mystery to me there. That's the bigger revelation than buttload's an actual unit of measurement. A buttload of wine is roughly equivalent to 2 standard wine barrels, which hold 60 gallons each. A butt of wine is also known as a pipe. It's very sexual. All this stuff is just very sexual to me. The term butt comes from the French word bottle, which means boot. Oh my God, it's like, because I like big butts and boots, and I cannot lie. Which means boot or barrel. French word for bottle, which means boot or barrel. A butt is half of a ton, which is a large, a TUN is a large wooden cask used for shipping wine and other alcoholic beverages. Boy, the things you learn. You know, I talk about it on stage. I talk about somebody spreading ashes and handfuls of ashes as a unit of measurement. And maybe that really is. I don't know. Here we go. What's wrong with Orny Adams? That's my friend Kirk. I don't even know if he listens anymore. He's just, the headphones just flew off. He's a Patreon subscriber, though. He's got great big eyes. I think that's Vicky. She was on this podcast. Director. That was a late night, I think there was alcohol involved in this rendition. We're going to have a buttload of fun on this podcast. The equivalent of 126 gallons of wine or 108 gallons of ale fun. I'm bringing this down. Are you ever out with people, or people say this to you, I look good for my age? I'll tell you if you look good for your age. A lot of times people say they look good for their age, but they really don't look good for their age. I just want to say, I gotta be honest with you, I don't think you look that good for your age. I think you actually look your age. I think you might look older than your age. There's a lot of delusional people out there saying, I look good for my age, that don't. We're obsessed with how we look, myself included, my entire life. I believe I suffer from body dysmorphic disorder. Body, BDO. Sounds like body odor. Body dysmorphic disorder, BDD. Did I say odor? Oh, I might have said body dysmorphic. I'm sorry. I was out drinking last night. Had a good time. Went out with my former agent, Brandon, and we went to a vegan restaurant, which I don't know what I ate. Tasted good, but it was all sorts of shit from the ground with a sauce to make it sound like the stuff you really want to be eating. So we had a couple of margaritas and a good time. But I have always... Are you one of these people that just doesn't like the way you look ever? I guess sometimes I do, and I'm shocked. I'm like, wow, I kind of look good. But for the most part, I can't stand it. It's been my whole life. This isn't something new. And it's an actual disorder where I guess I see myself differently than other people do. I think the other people are wrong. I'm right. But a new study is saying that mushrooms, the psychedelic mushrooms, can actually rewire the brain so you don't hate the way you look. So it's called psychedelic assisted therapy. And Dr. Zhu and his colleagues, this is out of Columbia University, hypothesize that psilocybin may work by enhancing cognitive flexibility and reducing the rigid thought patterns characteristic of BDD, or what I like to call body dysmorphic odor. I wish I could I wish I could look at somebody and say, did I say body dysmorphic odor? The increased connectivity between the brain networks could allow individuals to shift attention away from appearance-related obsessions and regulate emotions more effectively. I've always said I don't want to do any drugs because I don't want to alter what my brain is already producing. I'm pretty happy with the output, even if I am a little, neurotic at times. I enjoy my brain, and it scares me. They're saying just one trip, one microdose can rewire your brain. That scares me that you can alter your brain forever. But on the other hand, maybe I'll think I'm hot. Maybe I'll have a little swagger. I always love these people. I use Alec Baldwin as an example. I've been using this as an example pre him shooting and killing somebody. There's a guy that is not in the best shape, but holds himself with complete confidence. Philip Seymour Hoffman didn't mind if his gut was showing. I do. Big decision today. Do I shave? Don't I shave? How's my hair look? Should I wear a hat? Shouldn't I wear a hat? I wish, I don't know if I've ever told the story of me and Robin Williams performing at the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley, which is now being sold, which is a real bummer. Great place to perform. But Robin and I hit record on this as backup. Robin and I was doing a show, and Robin showed up. Sorry, just making sure all the cameras are rolling. As tech advisor and producer of this podcast, and writer and performer and editor, I had to check to make sure the cameras were rolling. Did a show together. And someday, it's a very deeply personal story, and I really want to think it out before I tell it. But that guy, he didn't care. And I love people like that. I'm sure he did care. I'm sure he really, felt a certain way about his body, but he didn't mind exposing himself. And I think that's something I could work on. The magic, listen to this, of psilocybin may not lie in the ability to create fantastical visions, but in its potential to help individuals see themselves more clearly. Oh, Lord, I don't know if I want that. Because you ever date somebody and they tell you what they think you are, and you go, I'm not that. What if I am that? And then I take psilocybin and I realize, oh no, I am that. I'd rather be delusional. I'd rather think I'm out of shape than be happy with. I'd rather be unhappy with my body than happy with my body, and then seeing myself as other people see me. You know what I think? I think the people I date should take psilocybin so they could see me more clearly. See the greatness of Orny Adams. So they see themselves more clearly, free from distortion, the distorting lens of BDD. While there's still much to learn, this research marks an exciting step forward in the quest to help those trapped by dysmorphia finally break free from their mental prison of mirrors. I remember 7th grade when I went to middle school, Clark Middle School, Lexington, Massachusetts. Go Lexington. Lexington Minutemen. I ate a salad every day. I was the only one eating a salad because I was concerned about my weight. To this day, I hate washing my jeans because when I was younger, once I washed the jeans and they shrunk so much I never fit into them again. Now, is that body dysmorphic disorder? Did I fantasize that my jeans shrunk so much I couldn't fit into them? Every time I put on a t-shirt, I have to sort of stretch it first and put it on. Now, do I want to risk rewiring my brain? So all of a sudden I'm content with the way I look, but then I'm not funny anymore. I lose all the funny in one microdose. I was in Las Vegas last weekend. Thank you to everybody that came to see the show. If you want to see me this weekend, I'm at the Brea Improv this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Brea Improv, Brea, California. I can't wait till I'm done with this gig. I'm so sick of saying I'll be in Brea, California. I just want to do the shows. I'd love to be on stage right now doing my shows. I love being on stage. I'm so lucky I chose the profession that to this day, in my 50s, I still love. So I'll be at the Brea Improv. Tickets, ornyadams.com/tour. Then I'm off to, I think I'm in Vegas again, like the 18th and 19th of September. Then I'm off to Port Charlotte, Florida, Visani. Those tickets are going fast. Go get your tickets. You can go on the seat map, select the tickets. Encouraging people to go to the Friday late show. Encourage you to go see all the shows. And then back in Vegas the first week in November. Irvine Improv in December. Those are my dates. ornyadams.com/tour for tickets. I think I'm allergic to Las Vegas. Every time I go, I feel sick on that stage. I find the shows exhausting. I find I have to speak 20% faster. I find the air to be so dry. My brittle little BDD bones want to crumble. I have trouble pulling in oxygen. I get dry mouth and I get a headache. And I drink so much water that I've got to urinate nonstop. Oh, did you have fun in Vegas? What'd you do? Oh, I urinated every 120 seconds. I had a buttload of urination. I had a buttload. I'm chugging water. This trip, I brought coconut water. Tried that. Didn't make a difference. One show I was on stage. I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm only there for 2 nights, 4 shows, but I'm allergic. But yet I love it. As much as it feels like it's beating me the entire time. I feel so beaten. On the drive home, I think I can't wait to come back. And I'm working on 25 dates with them. I don't know if we're going to work it out, but we'll see. Hopefully we do. I enjoy working at that club. I enjoy them. But I am allergic. Let's see. Who am I better off than today? P. Diddy. This case fascinates me. This might be the unraveling of Me Too in the music world. I think other people might be going down. You see who's hanging out at these parties, these freak-offs. 1,000 bottles of baby oil. What is he, fracking for baby oil? How do you get that much? It's crazy. 1,000. That's enough to create a shortage for everybody else that has babies and needs baby oil. Like, nobody's talking about that. Were some babies, parents with babies, not able to get the baby oil because of the freak-offs? It's going to be interesting where this story goes. I can't wait to follow it. I need a new somebody's life is crumbling story to fulfill my time and my soul. That's for sure. This world is nuts. I got to tell you about this video. It's going to be a really interesting video that somebody sent me from my days in college. I saw a video of me in college in 1992. I'll talk about it at the end. But, yeah. So I had this dinner last night. We didn't look at our phones. We didn't talk about politics. We sat there for 2.5 hours looking at each other, just talking about this business. Now, I don't know who's listening to this podcast. I do know some of you write in. Thank you. The email is what'swrong@ornyadams.com. But I don't know what you're doing right now. Like, what are you doing? When I do stand-up, I can see your face. I can see if you're connecting. I can see, okay, bail from this topic. They're not into it. Oh, this topic, wow, they're into this. Look, I was making fun of Texas. Remember that video clip I played on an earlier podcast where a woman in, I think, San Antonio came into my show and she was pregnant or they had a baby. Anyway, I turned that into a bit. It's now fresh and killing. And I love it. Oh, here's the other thing. Sometimes I write a bit a few years too late, and then I do it, and I'm thinking, wow, they probably think I'm doing an old bit. Like when I was in Vegas, I said, I was making fun of Texas, so I'm like, I better make fun of California because I like to make fun of California too. I like to make fun of everybody. I kind of just like to make fun of the bullshit. I know everyone's trying to guess politically exactly where I am. You don't have to. None of your business. Just enjoy what I'm observing. So I said, I live in Los Angeles. So crazy there. If in the internet, you put in the search, COVID shot, it autofills COVID shot, how many calories? Now, I just wrote that. But if I do it, people are going to think, oh, that's just an old bit he's been doing. And it isn't. It isn't. Boy, I can feel the weight of my eyelids. Just 2 drinks last night. 2 drinks. And not hungover. I feel great because it was such a nice meal. Here's my advice to everybody before I get into the meal. If you go out on a business lunch or dinner, I'm talking to young people. I know a lot of my listeners aren't that young, but you know young people. This is what I tell people. If you have a business lunch, show up early and know what you are going to order ahead of time. Know the menu. You can go online, know the menu, know what you're going to order. I knew what I was going to order last night before I got there, but then they threw a curveball. It was Taco Tuesday. 3 tacos, $21 with a drink. You can get the margarita. I had $5. I had some rice and beans, $5. And once I found out he was paying, I go, all right, I'm ordering the rice and beans. Let's go, upsell. But here's my advice. Show up early. Know what you're going to order. Don't expend any energy on any decisions you don't have to that you could make ahead of time. Let that person expend their energy looking at the menu. You catch up at that time. You do the talking. Don't drink. Even if the other person is drinking, order a drink, sip it. I didn't even finish my 2 drinks last night. And don't say anything stupid. And don't order an appetizer or the most expensive dish unless your host does too. But that's what I do when I show up for meetings. Get there first, know the lay of the land. Prepare for battle. I know there aren't a lot of business lunches and dinners anymore, but that's what you should do. And we got into talking about the business. Now, I don't know what business you're in. I don't know what you're doing right now. I don't know if, where you're listening to this podcast, if you're supposed to be working, if you're at work, if you're at a construction site, if you're just sitting at home, if you're on a long drive, if you're in traffic coming home from work. I don't know how you consume my content. I don't know what your face is making right now. I don't know if you're skeptical, smiling, laughing. I don't know if you're distracted. I don't know if you're looking at your phone. I don't know. I don't know if you're falling asleep to this podcast and you're already asleep. If you are, wake up. Wake up. Oh, I had to go to the bathroom so bad in Vegas on stage. I thought I was going to have to get off the stage. I saw a guy got up in the middle of my show. I go, where are you going? Bathroom. I go, well, I got to go to the bathroom too. You don't see me leaving. And they all laughed. And I thought he was going to come. I thought maybe I can get this guy to come up on stage and just sit there and entertain them while I run off the stage quickly. The bathroom's right there at Kimmel's and go to the bathroom. That's because I'm allergic to Vegas, everybody. But I do it because I love you and the tickets are growing. Shows are getting more packed there. I don't know where you're consuming my podcast. I don't know how you listen to it. Be curious. But at your work, do you have a lot of complaints? Like I do? I have a lot of complaints about the world. Probably too many. In fact, it used to be rare to have somebody complaining as much as I did. Now it seems to be pretty common. Seems like the world's caught up to me. I don't feel so special anymore. A lot of bitching going on. A lot of people. I just did Corolla's podcast. And, I love Adam. I enjoy our banter. I enjoy, us going into like areas that I never knew I was going to go into. But some of his audience is just so closed-minded that it's really, it's a bummer. They can't like me if I go up against anything Adam says that is political. And I'm sorry, but it's okay to challenge I challenge people that I agree with. Don't be so immature and closed-minded that you can't be challenged. I don't judge you by your politics. I don't care. I judge you by you. And that's what's missing in the world right now. A bunch of cranky old people that are closed-minded. Makes me not want to go on podcasts anymore that are this judgmental. We should just be able to attack things. Listen, the world would be boring. If you're around like-minded people all the time, it's boring. Boring. If you don't want to be challenged, boring. If you can't laugh at yourself, boring. If you think your view can't be challenged and you can't, like somebody can't say something where you go, oh, you know, I never thought of that. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Or, yeah, I can, like, you don't hear this. I don't hear this a lot. You know what? I totally get what you're saying, and I appreciate it. I just feel differently. Where's that nowadays? Where's any respectful discourse nowadays? What's happened? Everybody's just so stuck in their way, in their algorithm. They have their own algorithm, and they only want to hear that. They think, I look good for my age. And they only want to hear, yeah, you look good for your age, when they don't look good for their age. They can take no objection. And anybody that disagrees with these people, you know these people, they can't take it. They melt. They get furious. They lash out. I'm very open to having a discourse, a conversation where we enlighten each other. But many people aren't. And I'm tired of that. Here's the other thing. Shut the F up. We don't care about your opinion. Haven't you figured it out? Trolling's out. Trolling's gone. Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt other people. They're hurt. I don't think it's normal for humans to attack other humans so much, to attack strangers so much. That's what's wrong with the world. That's not what's wrong with Orny Adams. I never feel a need to lash out at a stranger, especially online. I do like to compliment people online. I do. I like compliments. But attacking someone, trying to intentionally hurt their feelings, what does that say about you? So it's a strange time we're in, and I'm particularly reflective because of this video from 1992 that I saw. But I don't want to be in a world that we've become. Listen, we've always been critical in our heads. You look at somebody else, I'd never wear that. Look at that hair. But you don't have to say it out loud. Remember KYTTY? Keep your thoughts to yourself. That's what I believe. Most of this shit should be kept internalized. Internalize. I could attack people. I see things every day I don't like, including online. But I don't feel the need to desecrate, to bring down. But maybe that's because I'm pretty content, pretty happy. Here's some more advice I would give a young person. Don't listen to your parents. Listen to yourself. Again, I was watching that video from 1992, and, you know, I was on track to go to law school. I was at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. My parents wanted me to go to law school. And I took a brave step in my own direction, and it's paid off. I've done better than most lawyers. I've done better than most of my classmates. I got lucky, maybe. I'd like to still do even better. But I did it on my own terms. And as much as I hate so much of my life off stage and the business, I'm so lucky to be able to perform. You know, a lady last night just sent me $100 on PayPal. Just like a tip. This is insane. Like, I've touched somebody's soul some way. Like, I get these personal emails I don't share, and then I go, okay, it's worth it. Because I'm in a community. I live in Los Angeles. Everyone's like, well, who's selling out this theater? Who's selling out Mars? Oh, did somebody just sell out Mars? Well, they're the greatest of all time. That's the great. Everyone's on that bandwagon because they sold out Mars. But are they getting emails? Are they being approached after shows? Did I respond to that guy's email? Oh no, in Vegas, this guy, he was in the Army, and he's been going through something. And he hasn't been laughing. And he's found my videos online, and he came to see me in Vegas. And it just really, he was moved. And that moves me. But in my world, was the show sold out? That's what they care about. Not that. So I'm very fortunate that I listened to myself and didn't go to law school. And my parents, I'm sure, were brokenhearted. And I can understand. But I had to do, and it worked out. And I still love doing stand-up comedy. I love it. I love writing a bit. And I love doing it. And I love seeing the reaction. I love meeting fans after the shows. And I respond to all you guys. I really do. I know people think it isn't me or it's AI. But it isn't. It's me. It's me typing these words over and over again. Hey, appreciate hearing that. Thanks, Jim. Period. Hope to see you at one of my shows. Please share my videos with people. That helps. I used to write like, subscribe, and share. So, yeah, that's my advice to people. I think even at a certain age, like the institution of marriage, a lot of people get married because they're told to get married. A lot of people go to law school because they're told to go to law school. A lot of people go into the family business because they're told to go into the family business. There are these norms, these expectations, and maybe you'd be happier if you didn't conform. It's hard not to conform. Some people should be married. Absolutely. My parents are happily married. They've got kids, they've got grandkids. And that's that's great. But some people shouldn't conform, shouldn't be caught up in the, I call it the propaganda. I call marriage the Ponzi scheme. There's the misery, the bag of misery that people get held with. So I'd love to live in a world, because this is a podcast of complaining. It's the companion piece to my stand-up comedy. I'd love to live in a world where people just went back to shutting the hell up. Is that asking too much? Is that asking too much? Can we be respectful? Do we not have to be the loudest in the room? Do we not all have to have the final word? Can some of us be passive in life? What is going on? What's going on with my hair? I'm feeling nostalgic for my younger years. I was watching this doc, Nothing But a Good Thing, about the 80s hair bands, glam rock. Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Twisted Sister, Skid Row. Who else is on my list? White Snake. I feel like some of these people just had one song. And it was a whole movement. And it was all drugs and rock and roll. I was never into drugs. So, anyway, I never liked these bands. I do like Guns N' Roses and Slash. Right? He's that guy's in there. But glam metal I never got into. Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It. Was that them, or Come On, Feel the Noise? But there was so much sex and drugs. And, I know this is, you're going to think I'm full of shit, but I never went into this business for that. I was never did drugs. Never was like trying to get with groupies. It just, I don't know. It's a whole, they're driven, they have a different drive than me for sure. But I think what was most interesting was how it all just went away one day. All of a sudden, Beavis and Butthead came out, and the loser in school was wearing a Winger shirt. And Winger said their ticket sales just dropped overnight. Like that was it. These guys were doing so many drugs that they could barely perform. And then one of them, which band was it where the guy got kicked out of, one guy, the drummer got kicked out for doing too many drugs. In a band that was already doing too many drugs. But what was interesting was it wasn't serious. They were just having fun. It was very misogynistic. It was very, women being objectified. It was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And it was interesting how this whole movement formed. And then how quickly it went away. And now it's having a resurgence. I'm hoping at some point I have a resurgence. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh, let's talk about a couple of good things that happened this week. I got a free coffee at Starbucks. I was so happy. Oh, I couldn't believe it. What happened was I was looking at my app and I had 81 stars. And you get to 100, you get a free drip coffee. That's all I want, free drip coffee. And I went in with Steven, the guy opening for me and driving me to Vegas. And he wanted a banana bread, and I wanted a breakfast sandwich. I said, I'm going to order these two, pay for it, refresh my app, and then I should have enough stars for a free cup of coffee. And so we did it. I go to refresh. It's not coming up. And she said, what do you want? I said, just a grande coffee, a little bit of cream. And she said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That made my day. I don't care how much money I'm making. Free cup of coffee. Thank you. Here's something else that went right this week. I went to a restaurant, didn't see a rat. Thought I might see one last night because we were on a patio there, but didn't. Thank you for all the emails and online posts about the rat incident. And I was shocked to find out 50-50. 50% agree with me. 50% really disagree with me. In fact, some people are upset. They're like, you got free drinks and a dessert. And I thought, maybe it's this. I get free stuff all the time in my life. I'm famous. I'm a big deal. I get free drinks all the time, free meals. So now I see a rat and I don't get a free meal. It was just confusing to me. But I do feel like if you see a rat while you're eating, they should do something. But people disagree. And that's what's wonderful about this podcast. I invite it. I invite discourse. You're allowed to disagree with me. You're allowed to disagree with me more if you subscribe to my Patreon. Patreon.com/Orny. I don't know. I just don't need to see a rat. Even the rats don't really bother me because I live in a house and I've seen them in my yard and in my shed. I caught one. Took it out. Took out that rat. Don't come into my shed. Don't shit in my shed, rat. I'm coming for you. I just don't want them in my house. Here's something else that went right this week. Oh no, how's the exposure? Boy, the exposure keeps changing. Here's something else that went right this week. I fixed my sink. I'm not that, handy. But the sink upstairs stopped dispensing hot water. Now I have this tankless water heater. And I went and I checked other sinks. The showers are all working. That's right, plural, showers. And I said, what could it be? I Google, I can't figure it out. I figure it's something mechanical. It's got to be in the faucet itself. When you go left, it should go hot. When you go right, it should go cold. It must be something not triggering in between there. So I call Ken. Ken, what's up? Ken asks a few questions. He said, it's a water flow problem. Shh. What happened to my mouth there? It's a water flow problem. The water pressure is not enough coming into the sink or coming into that faucet to trigger the hot water heater. So he said, turn it on, run downstairs and see if the water heater's triggered. And it wasn't. And then I turned something else on, triggered instantly. Well, that was the other thing. If I turned on the hot water on the faucet, and it was never coming on. Then I turned on the shower next to it. Hot water came on within a few seconds, and then hot water in the sink came on. So I knew hot water was going upstairs too. So then I watched a few videos, and they said, oh, turn off the cold water first, look at the pressure, turn off the hot water, look at the pressure, and it was the same. So they said it's the aerator. It's that little screen thing that I actually make fun of in my Home Depot joke. Now, I got to go, they said clean it. So I took it out, and I cleaned it with a brush, and it flowed a little bit more, and it triggered the hot water. So then I went to the Home Depot, and I bought a new aerator, and it's fixed. I fixed something. It's so empowering. I love that. Because I'm not a house guy. But you know what? I suck at two things. I own a house, but I suck at two things. One, I suck at repairs. Two, I suck at hiring people to make repairs. So it gets tough at times. I also don't trust anybody that comes into my house. How do I know they're not casing the place? I feel like they're going to rip me off. You know, they're going to charge more than what they should charge. Used to just pay people by the hour. Now they just come up with some ambiguous number. So, a couple things that went right this week. Let me think of anything else. The dinner last night went right. I was talking to somebody about this ayahuasca. Have you done ayahuasca? Anybody done it? I know it makes you puke. I don't like to puke. But I guess it's enlightening. Maybe it's time in my life to be enlightened and let go. Rewire my brain with that psychedelic, what do they call it? Assisted therapy. Psychedelic assisted therapy. So this was eye-opening. This was a splash of ayahuasca. Oh, and this person kept saying, I'm like, oh, when did you take it? He goes, you don't take ayahuasca. You sit with it. You sit with it. I'm like, I already need like a shaman to, sit with me and make sure I don't do anything crazy. So I was sitting at home the other day, and I get a text message from an old fraternity brother with a link to an unlisted video. And he said, you show up at 25 minutes in this video. And I go to the video, and it's my fraternity house. Yes, I was in a fraternity. I was API at Emory. I was number one pledge. You want to talk about accomplishments? I beat out all the other 20-something pledges in my class by being a better pledge than everybody else. Always a high achiever. Always. If you're going to pledge a fraternity, be number one. So this video, I'm barely in it, which hurt my feelings. But it was going around the house. And what I noticed was something very interesting about kids in the 90s. Kids when there was glam rock. Kids when things were less serious. Coming out of the 80s, which to me was Boy George, which was fun. There was just an abundance of fun, an abundance of just not taking shit so seriously. That's the problem with the world. The whole world's taking itself so seriously. Whole world needs a nap. Time for a nap, world. Time for a reset. Time to shut off the computer to the world, unplug the world from the wall, wait 30 seconds, reboot. Whole world needs an attitude change. Cut the shit. We have everything. We have all the tools to make the world a better place. But do we use them? No, we don't. Could we get rid of a lot of diseases? Yeah. Will it happen? No, because there's too many corporations that want to make sure that medicine is still being made and sold. It's called Big Pharma. It's why they get us to floss, because the dentists are in bed with Big Floss. Big Floss. Are we going to end homelessness? Poor people? No, because rich people want homeless people and poor people so they can look at them and go, look at that loser. Look how much better I am with that person. That person made the wrong decisions. I made the right person. The rich people are in bed with the politicians. The politicians can get rid of poverty if they wanted to because there's enough money in the world, but they choose not to because rich people want to look at people limping and go, oh, look at that loser. What, did they fall off the roof while they were doing a repair? Rich people don't limp because they don't get up on the roof. Rich people don't limp because they can afford the surgery like I did to get a meniscus repair and miss work and afford the surgery itself and the deductibles and not have to limp 10 years later. We have all the goods to repair this world. Do we choose to do it? No, we don't. No, we're just stuck. People don't have to be starving. There's enough food. People throw out enough food. Food doesn't have to be so expensive, but it's inflation. And when there's inflation, people just raise the prices because shit, why not? They're raising the price. Jesus, there's a soybean shortage. That was the first word that came to my head. I tried to think of another word. Couldn't think of one, so I'm just going to say it. There's a soybean shortage. I don't know why I'm saying that. Maybe that's from Trading Places, that movie. And the soybean people are raising their prices. Oh, gas. The barrel's gone up because there's another effing war. How many effing wars do we have going on at one time? Gas goes up. That means we better increase the price of eggs. Eggs better go, even though eggs don't have to go up, we're going to do it. They're paying more for gas and they can pay more for eggs. And I'm looking at this video from 1992 with my fraternity brothers. In the first observations, a 30-minute video, is our faces have changed. Young people don't have this innocence that we had, this unworldliness. I was going to name the podcast Unworldliness. Turns out I can't even say it. Unworldliness. Unworldliness. I also noticed that everybody sort of spoke in a tone like this. Everybody spoke slowly. Nobody was worried about being interrupted. People didn't really interrupt people. They let them finish their sentence and their thought. Boy, is that rare. They weren't, being interrupted by devices. Nobody had a device on them. I noticed people, they were listening. People were taking pauses in between words. There was no anger on their face. There was an air of unworldliness. There wasn't an aggressiveness. This is all the thoughts I had as I watched this. There was a meeting in the fraternity that was being taped. The camera panned, like a camera was kind of something novel at the time. And Schwaz, my friend Jonathan, I won't give his DJ Schwaz, as we called him, president of the fraternity, rich kid from New Jersey, could afford the video camera. And he took these videos and he put it up there. And somebody said, oh, you're 25 minutes. Oh no, hope I didn't say anything stupid. I was shocked at how few stupid things were said. Yeah, the camera panned to a few people. They made like little sexual gestures, juvenile stuff. Some people gave the finger. But it was cute. We were innocent. We weren't worried about what was going on halfway around the world. We weren't worried about trends. Hell, we didn't even worry about what was going on next door. We worried about what was there. We were in the moment. We were present. We looked. We weren't posing. There was no posing. There was no like, oh, this is how you're supposed to act. Oh, I saw this video on TikTok, so we're going to act this way. There was no chasing a trend. We weren't speaking as fast as I'm speaking right now. We were very sort of chill. It was relaxed. It was so peaceful to watch. Made me sad. Also made me happy that I got to experience that. I'm so lucky. I want to be back there. I invent a time machine, somebody, so I can go back there. back to no devices, no phones. People, eye contact. There was just eye contact. Someone was speaking, they were all looking. People weren't looking down. The only time I saw somebody not paying, doing something else was somebody was doing a crossword puzzle in one shot and somebody was reading a book. It was so eye-opening because I've always wondered, what do we do? Like every time I'm out to eat with somebody and you get up to go to the bathroom, you turn around, you go 3 feet from the table, turn around. They're already on their phone. Happens like, what did people do before that? Do we look around? Do we try and engage? Like when I was in Vegas, a guy comes into the elevator. Hey, how you doing? It didn't even say hey that. But in the old days, you would engage. Hey, do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Now, all our phones have time on it, so nobody's asking what time it is. We know what time it is. Do you know how to get to this store? We don't have to ask that anymore because we got a phone. We can get that information. All the information that we used to get from other people is on our phone. We'd rather not interact with somebody because most people are assholes. And most people have shit opinions. Not everybody on the video was trying to be funny. That was the other thing. Not everybody was trying to be the center of attention. There were certain people that were wallflowers, that were set back, that the camera came to, and they were just sort of like, everyone sort of smiled. Everybody had a smile ready to go. Do you see that nowadays? You see people with a smile locked and loaded? Well, I don't. There's no talk about politics. Nobody knew each other's politics. And if we did, we wouldn't care. It didn't define you. Politics didn't define you. Politics didn't divide us. It was simple. The face was stress-free. It was anxiety-free. It's just adorable. I hate to say it, but it was a group of dudes it just seemed adorable. And not everybody was innocent, but there was a lightness. All the movement was fluid. It wasn't jerky. Nobody was interrupting. Nobody was speaking too fast. It made me realize how screwed we are. We're screwed. We're not going back. It's sad. The kids that are growing up now that had to live through COVID, the 9/11 kids, it's sad. Because when I was a kid or younger, I remember we used to call them third world countries. I don't know what you call it. I think you call them underdeveloped. Shit hasn't changed except for the name. But we used to see people in third world countries, kids, and you'd see this worldliness. Now I just can't. I know I'm not going to be able to ever say it. Worldliness. This sort of like they've seen too much. Kids nowadays have seen too much. There wasn't like porn everywhere when I was growing up. You had to figure it out on your own. There was a self-discovery element. This is all gone. Now everybody knows too much, has too much of an opinion, judgmental, kids judging their parents. It's all changed. In this time capsule, I'd love to see more. And don't post anything, DJ Schwazi, if I say something stupid. Because I know I said stupid things. I had to have. But even me, like, you could see me saying things and then I was unsure. Like, that's part of it too. I was unsure. Like, I said something, you can see it in the corner of this video, and then I crock a smile like, do I really mean that? Is that okay? Are they going to accept it? There was no overconfidence. That's it. No overconfidence. Do I name this podcast Overconfidence or Unworldliness? Unworldliness. I was unsure. Now, Everybody says everything with confidence. Everybody's so sure that they're right. Oh, the earth is flat. We got people that still think the earth is flat. With aerial photography and science, they still think the world is flat. Why? Because everybody on their social media feeds is saying the same shit because they're stuck in the world is flat algorithm and they don't want to hear any better. And then we're going to take these people up to Mars and they're going to say, oh, this world's flat too. I'm a flat Marser. And then we're going to take them down to, and then they're going to look down from Mars and they're going to say, oh, you know what? I was wrong. Earth wasn't flat. Earth is round. But Mars is still flat. That's where we're at.
What's his name, Kev? Orny.
127.
Adams.
What's wrong with Orny Adams?
Put 'em together and what do you got?
We got Orny. I had to sacrifice the end of what I was saying because I was trying to find the theme. That's how much I care about you people. You listeners. Thank you to everybody that subscribes to my Patreon, patreon.com/Orny. Thank you to everybody that listens to this podcast on Spotify and iTunes and Google, and then share it with people who watch it on YouTube a few weeks later. Fire it up! These people are going to be looking down. They'll be on Mars going, you know what? This planet's flat too, but now that I look at Earth, well, that's round. That's what I wanted to say, but I was too busy trying to exit with a big intro into the theme song. Thank you to Eric Stoltz for mastering the audio and all that stuff. But really, thank you to everybody. And how can we as a species, how can we return to innocence? That should be, how do we use AI for that? And then we can go back to having a buttload of fun, because that's an actual unit of measurement. Thanks, everybody. See you for 128. Listen to the birds. Birds are probably talking politics.